So what I want to talk about today is let's look at the 10-year yield for a second, because that was the trend that is scary, right? And it just runs so fast. And the wall yeah the go ahead. Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, I share. So the right here you see how tight it is. And then Wednesday, like even like Monday and Tuesday it reversed, and I was like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe it found a ceiling here around 4, right? Um, but and then Wednesday it just go to that level 4, and yeah, it went past 4 a little bit, and then Thursday I was like, oh my God, it jumped up so much, and then I remember the market kind of tanked in the morning, pretty hard. And that was the moment where probably a lot of people got shaken out, just because of this movement. It was a big move. And then Friday, like I couldn't believe it. It like reversed so much. Um, like it reversed, like, I don't know, quite a bit. Like, let me see. Previous day close was like 44.07, and then Friday it closed at 3.96%. So that was like 11 points movement. So that's very interesting, right? So that really clearly show, like, I don't know if this is the top, but it does look like a top to me, like, especially such a big reversal. Usually tops happen with big reversal. Um that to me is a good sign, right? The market was able to you know make a reversal on that. So right here. So the again, it's it's still this 4% level is still a very big important important level here. So we're gonna watch whether this is just a pullback that is like temporarily, or whether it's actually gonna continue its run here, right? Um, that's the scary part that no one knows right now, right? But it is at least a good sign for Thursday. The other thing that happened Thursday morning was most of my stocks surprisingly was acting well on Thursday morning, and so I didn't sell much at all. And then it reversed that day. So we go look at S&P for a second. So Thursday, S&P, basically the 200-day line was the support line, and it rebounded from Thursday morning, hitting that 200-day line. Um, yeah, and then Friday, um, the yield dropped, right, significantly. So it sparked another day of rally here. So that's 2 days of rally, and you can see it's been consolidating around this level for like this range right here for about like 5 days now, right? And then we passed that yesterday, so that's a very good sign. And then it's also above 10 days. So um, it looks like he has found support. It is now like you see 200-day, 50-day, 10-day, 21-day. Like in 2 days, it was able to recoup all that moving average, right? Um, so because this moving average, they tend to be like, especially once you go below it, they tend to be like resistance level. So the fact that it can bounce above it in just a short amount of time is very, very impressive to me, right? So I expect this continue to bounce, and people who are shorting to continue to cover. That's my expectation. We still have 4100 level here. So that, I don't know how much of a resistance that will be, you know, but if we pass 4100, then we're definitely going for 4200. And if we pass 4200, then we might have a really strong rally. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hope anyway in the short term. Now, with that being said, um, we can pull up the schedule for next week. Um, there's a lot to come in terms of economic reports, and also I believe Tuesday and Wednesday, Powell will be speaking in testimony, so that will be significant movement for the market possibly. If he says something, depending on what he says, right? Like it could mean a lot, something that could move the market significantly. So yeah, Fed Powell testify to Senate on Tuesday morning. So it's a 2-day thing. So like I don't know what he will say that will, because it's 2 days, it's not just one day. It's gonna be quite volatile, I think. The market, right? So like I won't like let's put it this way. I was thinking about this yesterday. I won't be surprised if the market tests this 200-day one more time. Okay, um, it's possible. It's there's a like to me I give it roughly like 60-70% it won't test it again, but there's about a 30% chance it could test it again. Now so there's that testimonial from Fed Powell, which is going to be significant. How not only he addressed what he has done, but also like how he's going to move forward. If again, I don't personally, I don't think market will react too negatively just because and we'll look at the futures in the set on the Fed fund rate, um but I think the market is already priced in a lot of expectations of what they're going to do. But like I said, if there's any surprises, yeah, that will move the market. And then Friday is the big number. Okay, when I was listening on CNBC, I find a lot of analysts very focused on this report, and partly because the January report was what really sparked the February downtrend. Because the last time it was 500,000, right? So that was the one that really spooked the market, and we started this downtrend since. So now, last week we said, hey, this is a critical juncture. We need to bounce from this level. And so by the end of but it didn't bounce right away. Monday, Tuesday, it didn't do much. But by Thursday, like I say, that was the shakeout right here, and it bounced. So that's very important, right? Because if it goes below 200-day, like it could be testing this level here, which it did. Like I say, it didn't happen, which is really good, right? So technically, we are in an okay situation. But now, like I said, the next week we might again see the same thing happening, like very volatile around this level. Like I would say, maybe it'll try to reach 4,100, but after around 4,100, it might not move much. Uh, and then it's just gonna wait and see, hey, what's Fed gonna say, and also this is the report that's gonna make the big movement. So just like how January going into February, the employment report really dictate where the market goes. It could be this again that could change how the market view the future. So everyone's expecting like 200,000 or less. Anything more than that, there's a high chance the Fed future will jump, might be raised 50 points. So a lot of people are talking now in March 22nd. You can see, I don't remember the number last time, but they said that it has climbed up uh, this 28%. So here is 0.25% raise. That's what they're expecting from 450 to 475. But this number where it goes to 5 right away, which is a 0.5% raise, has jumped to like I think Friday went as high as 30%. Something like that. So now, if the unemployment report comes out really strong, then this would go past 50% possibly even. So, again, the market might be spooked by that, right? So that is the really one report that could move the market for sure. Whether the Powell will say anything that will spook the market, that'll be another thing. But I don't think likely it'll happen. But he has been very consistent with his words. Um, but this report is data, right? It's very important data because we saw 1 month of stronger than expected job report, which is not good for what the Fed's trying to do is to calm down the market and the inflation, the economy. I mean, and now if this report is much higher again, like even 300,000 jobs, it will really spook the market, because the Fed will have to do more, right? And not only that, I think the scary part is just because their plan is not working, right? So if they're decreasing their rate of rising rates, which is like 0.75 to zero point 0.5 to 0.25, and all of a sudden they have to go 0.5, it will spook not just the U.S. market, it will be spooking the whole world, because everyone's like thought, hey, we are coming to near the close, near the end of this Fed fund hiking, but maybe it's not, right? So that would be really scary. Um, I don't know. Like I hope that doesn't happen. You know. Yeah. Any questions or thoughts around that? Yeah. Yeah. The yield will go up higher, right? For sure. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and it has been going higher. That's the thing. Like right now they're saying the mortgage rates. I think it went back above 7% for the long term rate, which is really bad for people buying homes and stuff, right? And they're saying right now it's at a really low number, or like in terms of sales, it's really, really low number. But the market has been looking past that, right? So the home builders are doing okay and everything. But the so again, it comes back to this tell where a lot of analysts believe that how do you say that a recession is imminent, right? Um, so that's the scary part, right? So basically, the trend is, people are not able to buy homes right now because the mortgage rate is so high, or at least they don't want to. Consumer spending are, really hitting hard in some, especially the expensive stuff areas. That is, really bad. The savings are getting like drained right now in most households. And then not only that, the credit card spending has gone up like significantly. So we are seeing like all symptoms of a recession coming. And but the market continues to ignore those things in the last, few months, right? Since October low. And so, you know, are we going to have a soft landing? That's still the big question. Are we going to have no landing, meaning like we're going to be stuck in this range for a long time? That's also possible. That's the story of February, right? We went from soft landing in January to no landing in February, and um, that the longer term picture, like the second half of this year, like I said, it looks to me it looks more bleak, right? Because things are getting worse; they're not getting better. The only reason why, the only thing that really doesn't tell the story is the unemployment report, right? So people are still having jobs. People are, so we haven't even so much companies have laid off, but the job numbers still show significant strength. That's why if it starts to come down, right? If it's like weaker than expected and it continues to do that in the next few months, uh, then yeah, then what the Fed has done is working, and then the Fed will start to ease off raising rates, and then the market will be happy because they're going to look past that, right? Yes, recession is coming, but it's going to be a short recession, right? Because the Fed's going to start, cutting rates going forward once that happens. But the problem is like we're not in that zone right now. We are stuck in this no landing zone, meaning like the Fed is still raising rates even though they should be ending, but the numbers are not showing that yet. It's just like so we almost there, but we have not there. The one number, the one report is the unemployment report. And then like I said, and we all know what happened in February. All the inflation report also started to go up. Again, is this a 1 month thing? Or is this a continuation of something that is like, no one can understand at this moment? Um, and I don't know if you saw that report from EU or Germany, I believe it was. They forecast much higher inflation for the rest of the year than they originally had expected, like last year. So that's not good news. Again, it seems like there seems to be some things that are still causing inflation, and so I didn't really read the full report, but the news wasn't the headline wasn't good. So is that happening to U.S.? Hey, it's possible, and I don't know. Like that's the part I think where most people are they're stuck on, right? Like, in US more specifically, people, I think the Fed care most right now about the wage inflation, because that's the one thing that will continue to drive people to spend, right? If people are getting paid more, of course they're gonna spend more, right? So as long as that doesn't go up much, then I would see the market will be okay. Like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a strong rally or something, but I think it will be able to hold the lows. But yeah, like right now the market is doing that. It is holding the lows, right? So it's really good sign. Yeah, like, but I want to show you this this. I want to do the bond yield chart again because that is important. It's kind of hard to see, but so yeah, so you know, let's see here. We have 0 TNX. So again, this almost act opposite of each other. So we have this going down, and then now you can see a little bit of like upward momentum at the bottom here, just a couple of days. So, we don't know if this 2 days is gonna last. Obviously we hope the trend continue to go down. But and then we'll see a rally in the market. So I still follow this very strongly. I still think market is correlating really strongly to the yield. And so that I continue to follow that. Um, yeah, coming back to the index here, what did I want to say? Now I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, so we have this 2 days bound. We don't know if this is going to be short-lived. Like, I, you know, if Monday or Tuesday it goes back down above the 10 and 21 again, like I'll be really cautious, because even though I said they might retest this 200 day, like it's possible, like this week is a determination of where the market is heading for the whole March. But with that being said, Tom Lee from France Strat came out and said, this not only is this quarter one of the best quarter, but like historically, based on the cycles of election and stuff, but also it tend to do really well in March and April. So he's calling for like a 2 month rally here. Um, so it's possible, and the market is starting to show the strength, right? So we'll see, and also like I said, this week, even though the market pulled back on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, like a lot of leading stocks did not go down with it, and so that really tells me that there is some signs that at the stock level, most leading stocks are going to do well. And yeah, and so this week, I'm up for the week for sure, and I continue to follow that, right? So sometimes the stocks itself, they can tell you another story. So there's the index, there's the stocks. Hopefully they both go the same direction, and then your portfolio, if you're owning the right stocks, it will also give you that sense of direction. So right now I'm holding on because, like, things are not only turning, but they have been holding better than I thought. So like, but I don't know how, like, if there's a rally, I don't know how strong it would be. It'll probably be choppy just because, like, there's more economic report coming out. And then, after this week, we have the CPI next week, right? So there's a lot of data next week. Yeah, CPI right here. 6.4 was the last time. I don't know what the forecast is. So that's like, you have Friday job report, you have Tuesday CPI report. But I think the Friday job report will most likely set the tone for the next big trend. Um, that's my thinking right now. Um, yeah, and then as long as the Fed, like the CPI data, I mean, even like as long as it doesn't go up too crazy, like even if it goes up a little, like it's probably not good, but I don't think the market will be like, oh, this is like really, really bad, right? Like it's bad, but it's not like, because the thing is, the CPI, they said, will come down eventually because of the housing costs, like rental costs and stuff like that, which hasn't shown up in the data yet because they have a 6 month lag. And so November was, I think, last November was like the peak, right, for most rents, and it has come down quite a bit since. So, like I said, they said there's a roughly a 6 month lag in most areas. So in this report, so that's why it won't show up until like probably May. And so, even I think, I mean, the market, that's the thing. Like, if you look at the market, I, you look at this downtrend, it's significant overall, right? It's almost like a whole month of like downtrend. But when you look at the uptrend from this January, right, to February, it was much more significant than the downtrend. You see what I'm saying? So it's giving up not as much, right? Like roughly it gave up more than half for sure, right? But it's roughly probably 55, 60% of the uptrend it gave back, right? So if we start another rally here, um, you know, that would be really strong sign that hey, the market is ignoring the bad news, and and he thinks that those news are not as important anymore, like. And I'm not sure, like I said, this is what I'm hoping will happen, but let's see, right? Or it might be just choppy around here, right? This 4,000 level is going to be key in the next week or two. If they can hold this level even the next 2 weeks with all this report coming out, I say is a really good sign if it can hold, right? It doesn't have to be like above it, but it's near this area and it doesn't fall too far. um, that's the key, I think. But I like I say, I think in general, the Friday unemployment report will be the big thing, and um, but like stocks are showing a lot of resilience right now and strength. Actually, they're showing more strength. So that's the good thing. Yeah. Any questions about this macro stuff? Um. Oh, you talking about the U.S. dollar? Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 So yeah, for sure. I think like U.S. dollar it seems like it found a ceiling here. Um, and it's been rejected twice now, right? Um, so so again, that also coincide with a little bit. Although Wednesday, even though the U.S. dollar dropped a lot on Wednesday, the market didn't react because again, it follows the yield more. And that was the first time, like even some analysts was pointing out that was the first time where it was very clear that they both diverge. Uh, Usually, it has been correlate pretty good, the USD and the 10-year yield. But Wednesday was the first time it dropped a lot, but yet the yield didn't it went the other way. So so that was interesting that some people call like so now it's probably it's still important because like I said the world markets they all looking at this US dollar as a correlation for how business are done, so that's still very important, but it seems like there's more relevancy like at the 10-year yield. Yeah. In terms of the Canada market, like I don't think I have this here, but let me go to yeah, let's use Google for a second. Let's see, USD Canada. Yeah. So yeah, so you can see it's almost the same trend, right? Um, yeah, it's almost the same trend, and as the UUP, very similar. So I don't know if the Canadian government will not raise rates. There is some talks that they might raise rate, but yeah, they did say last time they're not going to raise rate anymore. They want to pause. But but I also heard there's a lot of uh, food inflation, and that people are really not happy about that. And it's still like the food prices hasn't come down much, and so it's possible they might raise again, right? I'm just saying, like I'm not saying. So if that happens, then yeah, I don't see the U.S. dollar moving much, or at least stay par. But if they do not raise, yeah, their dollar will probably, like in my opinion, it probably drop, because it usually goes the other way, right? So so that's my thinking. I think it's what is it now? 136. Yeah, it has dropped, like I say, it has gone up a lot already from one, well, not a lot, like 134 roughly on average. And now it's 136. It could drop further if, like I say, if they don't raise rates, um, because the U.S. will continue to raise rates the next 3 months. So you would, like, you might not have a big movement, but over time, right, the trend is going that way, right? So yeah, but the thing is, it still comes down to this UUP, right? Because it's not. I know Canadian is just one country, but the UUP, which is a basket against all the other countries. So, um, like at the end of the day, the other thing is U.S. Canadian dollar. Like I don't know, like I really find that it has a strong correlation with oil. Whenever oil does well, it tends to be much stronger, the Canadian dollar. So, the oil hasn't done that well, right? So that's why it's also weaker in that sense. So this is US oil, the US oil price. Uh, it is having higher lows though, you see, but it's just stuck on this range, the oil price, and it's not getting weaker, but it's also not getting stronger, right? But it does has a higher lows, so it looks like, but then it also have lower highs too. So you know, it's kind of stuck in this range bound thing. But Friday has a really strong move. Yeah, talking about this, um, yeah. Before I continue on, do you have any other question about this? So you see, Friday the oil price jumped quite a bit. Um, and I don't know exactly how many points, um, but I want to show you the tracking I have. So so this is this week right here, right? So market has been under pressure according to IPD. Friday, they pretty put uptrend resumes. So that was a good thing. Because yeah, I don't know what the real reason why they changed the outlook, but they did make the change. Um, I know. Oh yeah, I think it was because again they saw many stocks holding up, and that they're showing strength. So that's the reason. So now I'm not 100% convinced yet, but I do feel like I say, I see the same thing that they see, right? Which is the stocks were holding up, and also there's a lot of stocks breaking out too. So that's why they probably change it. But I'm looking at my own tracking, and I'm looking at the sectors here. So this is like technology stocks, retail, industrial. So industrials are starting to get accumulated since Thursday, and then we have health, and we have like energy commodities. So energy commodities are doing really well, you see. Um, and then we have financials. So so I highlight these two because they're the most, right? Industrial and energy. So it seems like cyclicals are coming back in favor, um, based on what I'm seeing here, right? So the techs are doing okay. I'm not saying, like even retail are doing okay. It's just not, I don't see but again, Thursday and Friday really short time frame, right? So it's only like really it's like 1.5 day because Thursday morning was down. So but you can see clearly which is being accumulated, right? Industrials and energy. So I think, and this is, if this uptrend were to hold, and even if we do have an uptrend going forward, um, a rally mode, I think that in cyclicals like industrials and energy is going to lead, and it already showed this week. Um, and again, it all makes sense because the inflation story is not clear, right? We all think inflation is supposed to come down, but it's hovering near the they're not coming down as far. They're not coming down no more. Plus, they're kind of slightly going up. So even if this month's number comes in like, hey, expected, well, it's still not going down much, right? So until it goes down much, the market is not going to favor the tech and the high discretionary consumer discretionary, basically all the stocks that are more growth oriented. So that's the trend right now. Um, that's what I'm seeing, and yeah, and health hasn't done so. See, that's the thing. The health hasn't done well because they're mostly considered defensive, and but right now the market is saying, hey, things are not too bad. So it's not too bad, but it's also not too good. It's like kind of in the middle ground, right? So the cyclicals, which has been hiding in hive since like this whole year, maybe now starting to show strength. Like most of them have built a basis, and we'll look at some of the stocks like Caterpillar and stuff like that. Those guys are starting to move, and so maybe that's the next uptrend, right? So for those are the leaders. I don't know. But that with that being said, like a lot of stocks are still moving in tech. I'm not saying it's just that the volume is not there. So that's how I track this, right? The stocks that are being accumulated with volume is what shows up here. If they're moving up without volume, it doesn't show up here. So this is a better sense of where the market is accumulating shares. Um, yeah, so the number of stocks being accumulated has gone up significantly. You can see that, but you know, um, this is the net. So this is like net gains, net number of stock gain minus net number of stock like distributed. So this number is just strictly how many stocks are being accumulated. So we have definitely changed the tone. Because 300 to 400 is a very high number. For you don't even see that in the last. Like look at this. You don't even see that here in the January. If we go back further. Sorry, actually, you know what? I screwed up. This should be reversed actually. Yeah, I think I screwed up. Yeah, I have to fix this, but I think it's on this side. So yeah, in January 30th. Yeah, so you have some 300 numbers here starting in late Jan. Okay, it started earlier in Jan. So it does have higher numbers, 3, 4, 500, 300, 200, 3, 4, 600. So yeah, we kind of in the middle ground right now, 3, 400. Yeah, so this should be on this side. I have to fix this. Um, Anyhow, that's that. So yeah, let me pull up industry sectors for a second. I think not much has changed. So that's a good thing. Not much has changed. I think so. Let me just make sure. Most of the sectors are still behaving the same. So I don't know if there will be any change of direction. I don't think so usually, but let's just make sure. Like that's why I want to monitor this every week now, just to make sure we are on the same track. So XLC communication, that is still the leader. Um, consumer discretionary number 2, 13%. Technology 12%. So that one has come up in third place. And just general retail is 10%. Materials is 8%. This one has kind of come up quite a bit now. Because I remember last time it was at 5% or 6%. So industrial is at 5%. Materials 9%. Yeah. So the rest are 5%. So yeah, it's still similar sectors that are leading, which is good. Tech and retail, consumer discretionary, those two, and communication service. So again, they're still doing really well. But again, like I said, the last 2 days is odd, right? Because I didn't see that leading. We go back further, you see that they're kind of leading before. Um, you know, in January. Uh, yeah, so we'll have to pay attention to this. And energy, like I said, energy like really show accumulation this last 2 days here. Whereas this whole year it hasn't really shown much. Like there's some here at the beginning of January, but it died pretty quick. So we'll see if this continues or not. But energy is still not, definitely not the strongest. Where is it? Oh, do we have energy sector here? Right here. Negative actually. Wow. Right. So, so yeah, healthcare is even worse, -4, utilities -6, staples. Those are all those are the three defensive area, but energy is surprisingly negative. So uh, again, seasonally, like oil tends to do well, like going from this March to May period. So again, I don't know if that's the trend. If that's the trend, then that could be a shift in this happening right now. And industrial guys are surprisingly doing well. So that's where things are at this. I also want to show. Let me close this. I also want to look at. Let's look at like I know energy solar did well this week, right? It you see it broke out above the all the trend lines. Really well. It did really well this week. And Friday, like I said, it broke out. It's a good time to buy on Friday for solar stuff. Um, but I want to show all the industries for a second. I have list here, industries, just to see what's leading. I'm gonna change it to this year. Okay, so SMH, like I only track a few right now. I might track more later. But SMH is semiconductor 20% year to date. So number one, bots, which is the AI robotics, 18%. This one has come up a lot. You can see this shop like right here this week. It really took off, right? Um, so like that's the sharpest slope here. So yeah, pay attention to that. Like a lot AI stocks breaking out this week. Jets, which is the airlines, 17%, doing pretty well still. That one's yeah. Um, the fourth one is the home builders, 13%. IGV, the software guys, 12%, very close. Cloud behind that, 10%. And solar, like I said, solar, you can see this solar also trend is pretty strong too. It wasn't performing well at the beginning of the year, but now it's really like you can see it, even though it's at the bottom here, but the slope is very strong. And then biotech, it's the weakest right now. Like, again, health was not doing well this year. But yeah, 10 surprisingly showing lots of strength this last week, and also in general. And then bots is also really climbing. Um, yeah, that's the sectors I'm following. Industries, I mean, in general, like those are the highest beta stocks or area. Um, yeah, should we jump to stocks now? Do you have anything? Oh, okay. So there is lots of stocks reporting now. Like I think pretty sure like over 90% of the stocks I track has reported now. So you know, let me see. MDGL, health related. Um, Miniso. Yeah, Miniso. I think I missed the break. Like so, I missed a lot of breakouts this week. Um, like right here, like this. Yeah, so they reported, and I like right here they reported. So I didn't buy into it. So unfortunately, it did really well though. So yeah, it's on a very strong uptrend. This guy, and it's hard to get in. You always want to like the only time I would get in stocks like that is on a pullback, and but because I didn't want to buy before the earnings, so I didn't buy on this pullback here. Um, but I could have bought on the day report earnings, but I didn't. So that's a miss there, but it's continuing to do well, like number two on the list. Um, IQ is a Chinese stock. Um, it ran up a lot, and it's consolidating. So just like all most of the Chinese stuff, it broke below all this support level, like that's, and then this is like what we call a shakeout, right? Whenever it broke below a level that most people consolidate at, that's a shakeout because it bounced back, right? So I like to see that. Whenever I see something like that, um, it's a good sign to buy, right? So that's something I've learned, right? And like also you give it time. So when something is consolidating, you might not necessarily want to buy on the first bounce because the first bounce, like this bounce here, uh, I don't know if I traded in here. Maybe I did. I can't remember. But maybe no, I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. I have to track it yet. Still, I haven't tracked it what I traded. Um, but here is a shakeout and it bounced back. So this would be your, even if you don't buy here, I think Friday is also good to buy. But it has a really strong. Once it shakes out, a lot of people like on this new low, and bounce back. Usually it means the weakest like traders or investors are gone. In general, right? So now it can resume this uptrend. So I like that. I like this chart a lot. So yeah, you can see there's a up 3-day rule there. It's yeah, it's really strong. So uh, yeah, let's highlight that. TGTX. So there's lots of biotechs doing well too, like recently, which is interesting. So maybe they're starting to show strength again, um, even though it hasn't performed well this year. But here's one, right? So I did put in a trade on Friday morning, um, and I take a little bit off from the top here. Just like I always like to take a partial gain, um, is to help finance that trade, right? So even if it drops back down, I'm not at much risk. So whenever you have a small gain, take a little bit off, especially if you feel the market is like kind of unstable. But this is a very nice chart, very clear. Like fell below 10-day, now it's above 10 days. So you can see it follow that trend line really well. Like once it goes above 10-day, it stays there, right? So now we hope that it follow that same trend here. If the 10-day goes up, it just stay above that 10-day. So I really like this chart. Um, but again, biotechs are always the most you know dangerous to buy on its own, because any news will tank quite a bit. It could tank quite a bit. Um, Rig and oil, I was also trading this. They did really well recently. Let me see. I think I took most of my gains now. I'm pretty sure I did. Um, well, Thursday was a shakeout, so I think I got shakeout on Thursday. Um, yeah. I think I'm not sure if my whole position got shakeout, but this is coming up. Like, look at this, right? It just bounced off the 50-day, and then it just keep going up. Um, and then there was a slight shakeout here. Okay, but the trend, like this stock, like once it runs, it runs. You see that right there? So it's hard to trade this stock if you don't follow that trend. Um, same. This is same industry, oil field service, OII, right? Like once it goes up really strong. So um, yeah, those are really strong. So see, like that's why I say like oil and gas, not all are weak. In fact, like I say, I think a lot of them came back up this week, but these two are very obvious right now. Industrial stuff, machinery, construction, mining, MTW. Oops, let me close this. Like, let's put it this way. I see a lot of stocks, like not just like one area of stocks going up. I've seen a lot of areas going up, right? And you can see that from this list, and which is a really good thing. Like that's how rallies start, right? It's that you have every area of the market like doing something. And when you see that, the market have the power to move up, not only more, but also faster. But if you don't have lots of participants, it's really hard. Like, oh my God, look at this stock. I don't know how I missed this stuff, but yeah, look at this volume, insane volume. MTW. But I don't know how I missed this stuff, honestly. Um, Yeah, this is insane. This machinery stock. So 100% like in the most recent quarter. Um, let me see here. 300% estimate next quarter. Wow, that's insane. Look, like I mean, 0.03 times 3.3 is like 9 cents. I mean, yeah, it is definitely increasing its profit now significantly. Um, so that's hence the price movement, right? But yeah, it's a small cap though, right? 600 million. That's why like anything around $20 is gonna move fast, when they move. So that's another thing. You see a lot of small caps right now, on this list that I have. Lots of small caps, which is not like which is a good thing. Like it's usually when economy is growing and humming, after a bear market, the small caps are the one that are more innovative. They're the one that are, less impact by macro, and so they have the ability to grow, right? As the economy recovers and so forth. So the fact that they're doing so well right now is actually a good sign. So yeah, but this is nowhere near a buy point. So, but it's really good stuff. Um, we have another biotech EXAS. Okay, Allegrum. Let's look at this guy. Because this is one I own. So a lot of stocks bounce on Thursday, so that's what we want to look for. We want to look for that bounce, and it's very important where it bounced from and where it closed, right? So here you can see it hit it went below 10-day, which is okay because that's where it's consolidating, and then this is the shakeout. Again, we have this consolidation here. It shake out below that, which shake out a lot of investors because they probably put their lows at the lows of this range. And then guess where it closed on Friday? Above that range, right? Like pretty close to it at least, right? So it's not a new high, but this is a very good sign. Um, yeah, like I didn't add on Friday, but on Monday, if I was able to hold this level, I'll probably add to it. Like, because this is basically a small breakout here. It's not like a real base breakout, but it's like a really tight range breakout. Um, and but there's always a risk because this stock has already run up so much and it's way above the 50-day, right? So there's always that risk. But that's what it did here. The last 2-3 weeks, even though the market is going down, it's just kind of building a range, right? Like instead of going down, it just kind of went sideways. So that's to me is good enough. Um, and that's why I like this stock so much. It just doesn't want to give up its gains, right? Most stocks would have come down like this, right? But it didn't. And it's a leader, growing strong earnings. Um, you know, so this is really consistent earnings and sales. 99 composite rating. The institutions are starting to pile in, right? And so it's going to get more and more obvious as institutions get in. And look at this week where it down. Look at that volume. Like it doesn't have high scraper volume only that one week, but look at the week that it was down. Like no one wants to sell like the week before. I know it was a 4-day thing, but still, like it just shows people are willing to sell. They could have sold, but they didn't want to, right? So, so that's a very good sign. I know I'm going down this list, but is there anything you want to jump to right away? Yeah, because I want to get a sense of like going down this list, give me a really good sense where the market is going. Like I said, the different groups. So consumer service education, this one and EDU are Chinese, right? Um, I've been trading in and out because like I said, these two stocks, I love trading it. I don't like holding it. Because when it moves 10% usually, like one way or the other. And like this one right here, like this one right here, like even this one is much smaller, so I don't think I make much money there. But right now, I see it's moving strong right now. So I'm already making profit here nicely. EDU is the same thing. Um, but it is very volatile. Like it doesn't like it's not like it goes straight up kind of thing, right? Um, like on a bigger trend, it's a very short trend. That's why I like trading this ones. Um, and Yeah, you can see this one I made a lot of trade. It didn't really make me a lot. Like the only ones that probably this one make me some money, good money. Right now, this is making me good money. Um, but yeah, so those two stocks are kind of like that. But they're at the top, so um, yeah, I don't know. They might be leaders still, right? Like they're kind of building a nice long base right now, but they're starting to feel like they want to break out. HIMS is a new name, Consumer Software Medical. I think they reported this week. Yeah, there you go, right here. This big one. It was a really strong earnings report. Um, it pulled back though, right? This is why you never chase, right? Never chase, especially. So one thing I find is like it's one thing like if it runs out like when earnings come out, it runs up. I don't like to buy it when it's already on an uptrend because what happened is it goes above this channel line, right? So you see, if it goes above the channel line, it's like the opposite. It's a sign you should sell whenever you see it runs above the upper channel line. Whereas if a stock, and we'll see some in some cases, when the stock break out of a basis and it runs up, and I miss a lot of those this week, that's when those ones is okay to buy because those are still in the base. They haven't run up much. So whereas this one, people are already making a lot of money. They want to sell right, as soon as they have a nice profit, right? So you run the risk of this kind of gap down. So this is why you don't buy on the stocks extended because it easily can get cut. Weatherford is another one that I'm holding in my longer term for longer term. Very nice uptrend. Like this is really consistent uptrend. Like look at this 50-day line. Like it has a little bit. It broke this upper channel line here. Um, and I thought this might be over, but it didn't. It come back again. Like it's alive again, right here. See? Um, so it might be just a temporary pause there, but if you look at the weekly chart, it hasn't even give up much. Like this is how crazy it is. So I really like this. It's a turnaround story. You can see it's making profit now. Not many people know about it. Mid cap, really good story. 99 composite. Look at this, institutions running up right now, 398. Like it's just constantly going up. So this is institutions doing this. This is not regular traders doing this. Look at all this high scraper volume. Um, you know, really strong stock. Um, unfortunately, I only had one position in it. Too bad. But anyhow, it's doing well right now. Tidewater, yeah, Tidewater reported this week. I think it's in the same area, similar. I think. Let me see. Oh, that's the fuel service. That's the same as the rig and oil. OII. I mean, sorry, rig and oil. OII. Yeah. So it bounced on this earnings. That's a breakout. But again, this is I don't know. This is a run right here. It's not super extended. If you draw the upper channel line, but you can see it's kind of digesting right now. So I think yeah, I think it's possible to buy because it's near the 10-day, right? Like I say, I like to buy around the 10-day. Um, and again, turnaround story. Um, you know, new name, small cap, not too small, but like slightly still small. Again, institutions is running up on this stock right now. So that's what you want to see. So really strong stock. Um, yeah, really nice. That's a nice one. Yeah, you can see it kind of have this potential. Well, Friday was the buy point. TGLS also reported this week. So all these names are, leaders that I've been following, but now they reported. So they look at them, they all beat earnings. Again, another one, beat earnings. Look at these numbers here. Oh, like 100%, 100%, 99. This is very small still. Look at this. Only 100 institutions in it. Yeah, Technoglass, like they're in the building construction area. So now this is definitely above the channel line. So I expect it to pull back because people should be taking profits. Um, but yeah, it has a nice 2-day run. Yeah, so that one's okay. Win, Um, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one I think is no. I don't know. I don't think this is in my long-term portfolio, but I think I traded it. So but this one has really strong. It's a turnaround story, right? Obviously, all the casinos. Here's a pullback. Yeah, I'm trading this. I can see all my markups here. Um, Look at this bounce here. Look at this. Like, you know, um, lots of volume. Look at this low volume. Look at the red bars right here. That's a really uh, picture perfect technicals. That's amazing. Um, yeah, like I like this stock. I've been trading in and out. It's pretty good. Like the sales is obviously not there. It's a turnaround story, right? Like none of these numbers are there, but the future is slightly brighter. Obviously, people are going to casinos now. So, and look at how fast. Like I know, like this is a weekly chart. Like it seems like it's still far away from the top, but it's just how fast this thing is moving, right? This slope. Look at that slope. It's crazy. Um, you know. Anyhow, it's good if you want to like. Yeah, I don't have it in my long portfolio because it's not the strongest fundamental, but the trend is really good, really good. Okay, and the slope is really strong. Nerds. Okay, this one. Oh man, I hate talking about this stock because I keep missing this stock. It just keep going and going, and I keep missing it. Um, yeah, this one like this is in the financial service area. I don't even know exactly what they sell and stuff, but look at advisory. Okay, but okay, but yeah, the volume is so strong. Again, another turnaround story, right? You see, it went from negative to positive, and a small, really small still, um, 94, 1 billion, $21, right? Yeah, you know that like I always hesitate to trade $20 stocks because can go both way like crazy, right? Like so this is a good one. Like I say, you can buy here, you can even buy here. Those this is another one. So I miss all those. But I want to jump to just quickly this stock AEHR because they got tumbled this week. Right, so this is, I guess now it's above 30 now. Before it was like in the 20s. Yeah, it has this huge shakeout on Thursday, right? Because the Tesla announcement, they won't use silicon carbide, and this is a very big manufacturer of those type of stuff. But it recovered nicely, and it's a big shakeout. Like it was a 30% range that day that it moved right here, 30%, and it closed like down, I think 14% at the end of the day, 15%. So we recover half of it, and now again on Friday, like this is what I like to see, right? A shakeout, right? This is the range, right? There's two range here. This one was the first shakeout. This is the second shakeout. And then on Friday it bounced exactly at the 50-day. Now I still don't buy this stock because, well, for other reasons, but if I just look at this technical, I won't buy because I have to see it above 10-day. Um, but I don't know if it's gonna recover. It could continue to go down on Monday. Who knows, right? Because if they lose a customer like Tesla, who's gonna find, right? So I don't know how big of that customer share that is, but that's a huge. I think on was another stock. Yeah, right here. Also rebound. See, they both act exactly the same. They rebound to the 10-day right here. So it'll be very important to see if they can shake out this 10-day. That's the most important part. But yeah, those are like yeah, I don't have those stocks. Anyhow, Nerds EDU, Intel keep coming up. Um, Another financial computer software stock. Not many people talk about this one. I actually never heard of anyone talk about this one. Uh, Look at how tight this like. So it runs up, and even it goes sideways. Look at the lows each day. It's constantly new higher lows. It's like there's strong accumulation behind the scene. Like whenever you keep seeing higher lows, someone constantly are buying. That's why it won't go to new low. Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely past this range here. So now we kind of looking at a new range now. Um, at this slope. Um, yeah, but you can see like there's way more blue volume than red volume. Um, but yeah, I never hear in app. Okay, I don't hear many people talk about. This is also another turnaround story. Look at this. Look at this run. It's almost near new high. Holy cow. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone talk about this stuff. So very interesting. HLSX, another oil field service. I was trading that on Fastly. This one, I also trading this one. It's very hard to hold the stock. I find. Fastly, let me see. Obviously it's a turnaround as well. Yeah, right here it bounced a little bit and then it comes back down. And then here, okay, on Friday it did bounce. So that's a potential. I don't know if there's any news, but that's a potential buy there. Right here. So that's this Fastly here. Um, Elf. So I own Elf. Yeah, Elf. I think it's starting to move a little bit. So Thursday was the shakeout day. Shakeout days are very important. Usually after a small consolidation, there's a shakeout. That's when the stock can start to move, right? Um, and it usually coincide very well with the market. So like Thursday, let me say the market bounce. So it coincides exactly with the market. So we got shakeout right here, not by much. I think it was just like by pennies, which is interesting. I think the lows here is 71.72. This low is 71.64. Yeah, like not even 10 cents. It's shakeout. So again, this is a strong uptrend, and then it goes sideways. Now it's starting to be at the top range. So I expect it to move up now, and we'll see if that happens. On the weekly chart, it looks like there's no dent whatsoever. It's holding really tight. Again, the numbers are superior. Cosmetics, you know, 99. Like look at this institution sponsorship, very strong. Okay, commercial service leasing because this is more industrial based, so doing well. Um, ASC transport pipeline, LSCC. Okay, so that one I own. Um, yeah, look at this bounce on the weekly chart, very nice. Um, yeah, this is the shakeout day. So you notice one thing also, the shakeout day is very important. Like if we, because we call Thursday the shakeout day, for like I call it anyway. And look at this chart. It wasn't a shakeout on this chart. It just shows how strong this stock is, right? Because other stocks is shaking out, but this stock, the low didn't even undercut this low. So now I haven't seen too much volume lately though, but still like it's been holding up better, right? So and again we have this like upper channel line broken here. So at any time you have upper channel line broken, you should pull back pretty soon within a week or so. And then we watch how it consolidate, and it found support at 21 day right here. And then it has that shakeout on Thursday. It didn't hit a new low, but still it probably it undercut the 10 day. Now we expect this to resume this uptrend here. So Exxon, okay. Um, yeah, this name I didn't own it before. It has this huge shakeout like many weeks ago, and many people were caught on that after because it broke out and then it got shake out here. But then it recovered that like a lot that day, and it didn't get back above the 10 day right here until here on this day. So then it comes back down one more time, not too far, just a little bit, consolidate here. Here's the breakout right here, right? Oh, after the earnings. That's right. After the earnings, it broke out. So I didn't buy into it. I should have, especially after you see such a big shakeout. Because what happens with companies right now, especially some of this like um, companies who are starting a run. So you can see the run right here, and then it built a base. Look at how much it gave back, right? So little. Like look at this height here versus this height here, right? It gave back not even half. So that's to me is strength. And so institutions are owning this, and then of course it's digests longer than people expected, and also have shakeouts. And so a lot of the weak guys gave up, and even me, like I never owned this before, but as soon as after the shakeout and this earning report came out, I should have followed it, right? I didn't, and now it's kind of a little bit too far now. Now it's probably going to climb, at least 20% profit. But anyhow, yeah. So that's a good stock too. So it has strong fundamental. Again, the shakeout was unknown what the reason is. So it could be just someone manipulating the market. I don't know. VIPS is China internet stock. TX. This one, yeah, constantly show up on my radar. Let me take a look. Again, another machinery construction. All the machinery construction have, look at this, how tight is trading. These are the kind of stocks you want to hold because it's just so easy to hold, right? They don't shake you out. They just move along the trend line. It's like, I mean, this breakout from 46 to 60 now, like, yeah, and it's just easy to hold. And 6 weekly, 6 weeks up now, 30% gain so far. Again, fundamentals are really strong. 99. Institution sponsorship is slightly, no, not as strong, but stable. Mid cap, $60. Yeah. Look at this volume. Oh my. You see, most stocks when they run up, you usually see volume in the first week or two. But this one, look at 5 weeks straight. Like this is huge consolidation right now. So maybe like right now, this is December, so end of December. So probably this quarter we should see a big jump in the number here on sponsorship. That's why that's happening. Okay, SMSCI. Yeah. So this is still my favorite stock. It didn't do as much this week. It's kind of digesting, right? It kind of have that big run last week. 3 days of really strong run. Like this 3 days here is really strong. I think it's like 15% or something. So now, so here we have this uptrend here. We digest. Now we're digesting again. So I expect it to start going again next week. Um, we'll see if that happens. But yeah, it's. I think this one is less on people's radar because of how it hasn't moved too much since this year, right? Um, and because it's still on the base. So most people right now they're looking at charts that are already broken out, right? This one is just starting to break out, right? You know, so that's why I think this one has less tension. But again, come back to any time it pulls back. Look at this week, right? 3 days of red. Look at the volume. It's kind of going down, right? So that's exactly what you want to see. Just like the week 2 weeks ago, same thing. Like the volume start to dry up. We're seeing the same exact thing happening. So this is good sign. So again, this is a potential to add if it bounce off right here. So Monday or Tuesday, whichever day it bounce off, and most likely if it bounces, it'll make a new high, which is not far away. And yeah, you could add to it if you want. But I like again this volume here is a very telltale sign that people are not unloading right now. Um, so that's 3 times now. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, like low volume, right? So that's exactly what you want to see, and that's perfect. But like I said, this is not one of those stocks that we talk about, like where it just go up smoothly. This is one of those stocks that go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up, pull back, and um, it might like it's definitely not the strongest stock out there in terms of technical performance, but it is predictable in my opinion, right? Um, because we talked about this a few times now. Goes up 20%, goes up 20%. This 20% is from the breakout right here. Goes up 20%, and so now we are in a new base, and we'll see. Again, like I think, yeah, we'll see if. So one of the things that Jim Roppel that I follow, he always say the same thing every week, which is we need institution quality leaders. And when I say institution, it has to have high trading volume. Like his definition is like at least 100 million a day. So this is close to 100 million a day. Well, definitely over 1.6 times almost $100. So that's like 160 million. So he's saying 100 to 200 million at least. Okay, those, if you have like quality stocks like this in that are rising, and he said you need to have at least like 15 or 20 of them, like minimum 10 for sure, but like at least 15, 20, or even more. That's when and those guys are running. That's when the bull market is starting, right? Or at least there's going to be a strong rally. And right now he's just not seeing that. Most of the stocks that are running like really strong and have strong fundamentals and technicals are more small caps. And like I said, so far the small caps they have run, but they also have fell like miserably in terms of shakeout. So it's not stable. Those ones are not where the institutions, they want to pile money into stocks that are liquid, trading 100 to 200 million a day. And he's watching this as well, but he doesn't have much position in it. But like I said, for me, I love this stock because it's very predictable. So it might not be the biggest gain for sure, but it's definitely predictable. PI, I've tried this trade. I trade in this stock many times. It's very hard to hold, I find. THR, again, there's two here. THR and AON in the building AC heating products. I think they're doing pretty good. We can just quickly look at the chart here. Yeah, see, look at this run on the weekly chart. Oh my. Yeah, this is a big run right here. And then it went sideways basically. Yeah, really strong. Looks like it looks like you want to go for another run again. AON. Okay, this one doesn't look as nice. It broke out on earnings right here. Now, but it holds. That's amazing how much it holds. Look at how tight this is. Anytime you see a stock breakout and it holds tightly, like tight, when I'm saying the trading range is super tight, that's something you want to watch. Those can move a lot further. So these two are really good stuff. LVS again, and now same as Win. 8. I don't know. I kind of give up trading this stock. It's very hard to hold. It's okay. It bounced on Thursday, Friday. It didn't make much of a move. 2%. Yeah, it's okay. PDFS, computer software design. Yeah, this one is starting to show up a lot more now. We just take a quick look. Yeah, so he has this earnings bounce right here, and look at it. It consolidate, but it's like barely. Like look at it, make new high like very fast. Make new high, make new high. Look at that. So Thursday would be your best opportunity to buy. I wasn't watching this, so because that was a bounce of the 10-day. I love buying bounce of 10-day. That's almost my trademark. That's what I try to do. Anytime a stock run off like on Friday, I wouldn't buy it anymore because now you run the risk of it coming back to 10-day. Unless you're holding it for longer term, but for a trade, I don't want to do that. Because if it pulls back, then you run the risk of getting stopped out. So, but if you're doing slightly longer term, you might give it a bigger range. But it's a really nice stock. That one. UI also very nice. Again in leasing. WNC. I think this one was doing well this week. Just take a quick look. Yeah. So see, many stocks right now, all these stocks are sitting comfortably above the 10-day. Friday it pulls back, but again, this might give you an opportunity to get in if you missed the first one. So those are nice. Fraud, another transport pipeline. This is a new name on this list. Okta did really well. I think it was a mixed report between Okta and some other company. I can't remember. Oh no, Okta was the one that, yeah, Okta was the one that went up, and there was another one that went down hard. Anyhow, um, yeah, those are on the list. First solar, okay. I had this set up on my screen, but then I didn't follow through. I forgot. Totally forgot about it. It broke out on earnings news right here, right? So this is what I was talking about. When you have a gap up strong, this is in the base. In the base, it's probably, and then it break out, right? Of this base. So it's those are probably okay. You still run the risk of it pulling back to the 10-day, but this stock has been how to say, it was a strong leader last year, even despite the market downturn. So the moment I saw the earnings report, I knew it's going to take off, and because it has been building a base for so long too. So and then here's another one. So it's like a base on base pattern, and this was the last time I did a little bit of run here. So I knew it was going to be strong, but I don't know how. I just missed it somehow. Like it was on my radar, but then I don't know. It's just too many things happening and I miss it. And yeah, look at this volume. And then here's the thing on the weekly volume, look at this dry up. Look at this red volume right here. Wow. No one wants to sell. That's a really strong sign. Um, yeah, this is institution calling this stock. It's a Chinese stock. Is it Chinese? Let me see. No, it's they're not Chinese. They do business everywhere. So this is by far probably the best solo stock. Wow, look at this, 900 to 1400. Wow, 500 institutions jumped in the last quarter. I keep missing this stock. I missed it last year, the whole trend. Um, right here, this is the big one. This is the big trend right here, last year. And then even during this pullback, it's significant, but it keep making new highs, right? It almost like is somewhat similar to, like I would say this is similar to SMCI. It's just one of those leaders that just constantly do well, but it's too late now for sure to buy. Um, but it's just one of those like ones that you want to hold for long term, because they're proven themselves. Once you get in, these are the ones you want to hold for. Now, it, I didn't own it last year because it wasn't like it did beat estimate 58%. It beat it. So these are tend to so the estimate here, they tend to give you the low ball and then they'll beat it, right? So that's why. But last year it was still negative. That's why I didn't get into it. That was one reason. But this time I have no reason not to buy it. So, but I still miss it somehow. Um, where is it? Let me see. I think it's yeah. I just want to find the actual figure. I feel this is important. Let me find it. Oh, I think it's under the negative area because it's still negative from last year. So it should be a positive. Um, it's down here somewhere. Yeah, 293%. So this will turn positive. So which means like they will turn into a profit. So negative 41. That means they'll run like almost 3 times that. So they'll be like close to 80 cents. So that'll be the highest earnings they ever have. Well, actually not the highest, but turnaround, right? Turnaround. Because before that it was 123. So like they're back on track where they're at. So yeah, so that's why. Anyhow, I miss it. I feel bad about that one. Um, RCL, it's on some analyst radar. I saw it. I heard on CNBC. Again, another turnaround story. Just like the hotels and casinos, this is turning around. Look at, yeah, the revenue is like, obviously pandemic, they went to like almost nothing. Uh, Now they're starting to, go back to normal and grow. You can see this previous big high here. So still a far way to go to recover, but they're recovering. Um, SEDG, I was trading this. This was one of the solar I was trading. Really, that's the thing about solar. They move fast. This is not the strongest stock, but it's just like I say, I should have gone to first solo instead of this. But anyhow, um, this is not bad either. It's moving pretty nicely. Yeah, yeah. It's more volatile, right? This one. It's good. Again, this is the kind of stock is good for trading. Like 10% is easily achievable. Um, you know, yeah, it's range bound, but it's not bad. Like the earnings are not bad. It's just not the strongest. Like it's just and also turn around. Like this, that's the funny thing. This one has better fundamentals in terms of consistency than First Solar, right? But um, yeah, I mean it's been stuck in this wrong range. Look at this, right? But the 10, all the solo stocks are moving right now. So I feel it can take the lead. It can. I'm not saying for sure. It can. We'll see. This is 10. Look, this look exactly like SCTG. It's stuck in this range for a long time now. So yeah, like we'll see if 10 bounce from here. Like this is a nice clean bounce. And I like to like I say I like to see how all the averages convert, right? Converge right here. All these lines converge right here, and now it's bouncing. So that's perfect, right? Um, Technicals. So let's see if we can bounce. Obviously, the next challenge will be on this level. But that's the solo stuff, yeah. Um, they could take the lead, I don't know. But they haven't, obviously. I think, let's look at M phase. I haven't looked at it in a while. Okay, starting to round up a little bit. It's still below 50. We have to see how it acts on the 50. Um, so the one thing I like about this chart is the 200-day is sloping upward. So if it goes past 50, it can be a buy signal. Okay. Um, that's how I look at this one. So I would set my alert here at the 50, 231.85. So we'll see how that happens. But it's not the strongest stock, right? Like if it does recover, who knows? Maybe it will bounce back strong. I don't know. But it's kind of it does follow the solo sector. This one Monday, it's okay. It's like going sideways. Like it did bounce, Thursday and Friday. Um, yeah, it's okay. Uh, yeah, this is Boeing. Oh, I'm surprised. Boeing was kind of off the chart for a moment. Now it's starting to come back. Look at this. So Boeing is one of them. Um, Look at this dry up in volume right here. I said this one day. I said that one day. And then that's a shakeout basically. Then we have Caterpillar, which I'm trading now. So you can see it moving up nicely. Yeah, very clean. It breaks above 50-day. So here's the thing. When you see 50-day, look at this 50-day. 50-day trending upward. Even during this pullback, it is still trending upward. Slightly, not a lot. And then look at 200-day trending upward. Again, slightly, not a lot. These are signs of institution quality. Every time you see 50-day, 200-day trending up, those are the ones you could buy on a pullback or correction, whatever. Like you can have more conviction that it will bounce back, even though it's near the bottom range. Like let's say you bought on Wednesday or Thursday, even like you didn't even like Friday you could still buy, but it's it's slightly higher now. So depending on where your stop loss is, you could get stop out. But Wednesday, Thursday, those 2 days probably a good time to buy. Um, yeah. So when you see that, like to me, this is strength. You know, it's not a high flying stop, but we'll see, right? Like it has moved a lot already at the beginning, and now so. But these are big caps, so they're not gonna double really fast. Very hard for them to double. but they will be very nice and easy to hold. TNK, another transport pipeline. So this, you know, I'll talk about this stock because I was trading it, and it's no different than any other transport pipeline. They're just really strong right now, um, and I feel like I missed a lot of gains, right? Because I I'm trading in and out, which is not as good as holding it, obviously. Um, and it's just, you can see my markups here. Like, I have gains, but it's not as big if I just hold it. You see what I'm saying? Um, but it's okay. Still, but I just want to point out how strong this sector is. All the stocks in this group is just insanely being accumulated right now. All this volume. So meaning when you see this kind of volume being accumulated, it means that this run is nowhere near done, despite where it is. Like this could go on for a while still. Um, you know, super fundamentals, institution rising, 99 composite. This is small cap. I think most of these are small cap. ASC we saw talk about TRMD, INSW, ST Engine. Like one of the IBD traders, he always trade these stocks, and he did really well. But I don't know if you trade in and out. But these are the stocks that you kind of don't want to trade in and out. You just want to hold as much as you can because this is a nice, really good gain, right? And this is 30% from here. So, yeah. Anyhow, I'm not gonna complain. I still make money. I didn't make as much as I should. Prim, this one again. It's funny how a lot of construction related stocks are showing up here. I'm talking about more like industrial construction. And yeah, they're really showing up. That's what I'm trying to say. And most of these are small cap, and that's the funny thing. Like a lot of the small cap constructions, industrial constructions are doing really, really well. And obviously you can see here too, like the numbers are turning around, but they're always making profit, right? It's just that now they're increasing again, yeah, their earnings. Yeah, so these are I think these are the kind of stocks that they're young, and and even if you look at it, like, so one of the things if you want to hold for long term, always look at weekly chart. This weekly chart, like, I really love it. It's just tight, I that's one thing, like, it goes up here, look at how tight this is. It goes up here, look at how tight this is, right? That's what you want to see on the weekly chart. So those are, even though it's a small cap too, that's another thing. That's a beauty. But right now it's kind of extended. Um, Let me just look at one more time here. Yeah, it's extended now. Okay. MUFG. Okay, so this one also keeps showing up. Um, this one is, not well liquid. I don't know why when it moves, it always like gap down, gap up. You can see lots of gaps, right? I don't know why. I don't really understand that because this is not small volume. This is huge volume. Yeah, yes, it's only $7, but I don't like the gaps, right? But one thing I like is the chart, like the whole as a chart. Like it just has a very strong uptrend, and then look at this. Like, yes, in this daily chart it doesn't look very good because of all the gaps, but if you look at weekly chart, it's a very strong chart. Like it gave up so little after it gained like so many, like almost, well, not quite double, but like 70% or something. But it only gave back like 15 or 20%. This is a turnaround story as well. Um, so look at the sales number. It jumped quite a bit. Yeah. This is it Japan? Japan? Yeah, Japan stock. It's a banking. So I don't know if the Japan economy is doing well. Actually, I haven't paid attention. But this is traded. This is the one Japan stock that's traded on the NYC. Okay, four. Oh man, I hope you got a piece of this. I missed this one. Again, this is one. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So four. I didn't hold it before, so I missed this run. The one thing I don't like about this chart is how choppy it is. So again, whenever the stock is choppy, I don't like to trade. Like unless it trade like Cal or EDU where it move 10% easily. Because at least you can go for that, right? But when it's so choppy, you have a chance of like getting stop out easily for a trade. But here's the thing. We know this is a super fundamental story, right? And so I was watching this and I was like, okay, earnings right here. Again, like it pulled back. It's not quite a base because when we say base, usually at least 5 to 6 weeks long. This is only like 3 4 weeks. But because of the support fundamentals, I usually would like let it go, right? I wouldn't be like too concerned about that. Um, and again, I missed this one. No, look at the run after. It's just really strong, like highest volume ever. This is another thing. It's always good to see the highest volume ever at the beginning of the base, like when the breaking out and stuff like that. But if it start running a while, like 2 months already, and it has the highest volume, that's usually like people wanting to get out. That's the opposite. So when you see the highest volume, that's when you want to get in because people really want to get in. That's why there's so much volume. And then obviously after that they keep running. So again, another stock I missed. The only way I can get in now is waiting for a pullback. This is worries, I believe. Yeah, let me just double check this because I this might be a potential for my longer term uh portfolio, and I want to see. Yeah, let's see the earnings forecast here. I'm pretty sure it's all good. Let me just double check. I think yeah, it's at the top. I think. No. Oh yeah, at the top. I see it highlighted. Mr. I just missed it again. Right here, 133%. So let's see what the previous number is. 615. 30, it will be 30. Oh, 800 and something, right? So it'll be over 30 cents, 35 or something. Okay, which is kind of in line um, with the growth. And yeah, 5 billion cap. The numbers are, look at how many increased by over 50 institutions. $70. Yeah, so the volume is really, the volume is superb. Like this is a sign of institution getting in. And the fundamentals are really strong. Um, I still don't know too much about them, so I'll have to do some research if I want to add it to my longer term portfolio. Do you know much about it? Oh yeah, yeah, on the payments, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is like I said, the fundamentals are solid and the technicals are like it's definitely like I say I don't even the weekly chart like it's very choppy. Like this is a pretty hard one to hold. Um yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's hard to hold for sure. But it has potential, that's for sure. And I think part of the reason why it's so choppy is because it's just not near the high ground, right? And so Jim Roppel always talk about this. Whenever you have a stock coming back from before, it's going to be a lot harder in most cases because it just have so many, people wanting to sell all the time. These are all the overhead supply, right? So you're gonna have all this choppiness, because people want to sell as they come back. Um, and so that's why it's harder, But anyhow, but it's still a very strong fundamental so right now. Peloton, yeah, Peloton. I mean, it has shown up sometimes before. I haven't checked it lately. Okay, so it has this, just like most stock, it has this strong pullback. Now it bounced. So, um, yeah, it's okay. We'll see. If yeah, I think in general, if the market can behave okay, then it might have some more room to run. But
but I don't know. I feel like it will be very choppy. That's my thinking about it. INSP, this one keeps showing up. Medical products. Let me just take a quick look. So we have to understand that, like, I know I'm looking at this chart. It's very choppy though, sure. But one thing I like about it is that it is stronger than the general health sector. Um, and this is not one of those, how do you say, those biotech stock that is like one product based kind of company. So it has a lot of history. It's a turnaround story. The sales, look at the sales. Even despite the earnings are not strong, the sales has been consistent. So is it again 7,264? Yeah, like this is the last time it did a superb run right here, and then ever since it just kind of stuck around this zone. So it's trying to break out really hard around this area. But once it, because this is a strong consolidation, like over a year or two, right? So once it break out this zone, I can see it taking off really strong. So the fact that it can, be in the top 50 and still, after going through this consolidation is quite impressive. So maybe this is its time now. So yeah, I would pay attention to this. Um, yeah, we'll see. That's INSP. ASML, another chip company. I don't watch this one as much. I don't remember why. Oh, it's a big. Oh, this is a huge cap. 252. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think the numbers are slightly not consistent. That's for sure. Um, Mankind, biotech, boom. Let me look at this one. Metal. Okay, really strong run. This week broke to new high. Earnings are really strong right now. Sales are super strong. Wow. It's really small cap, super small cap. Um, DCM Global. Yeah, this is a nice uptrend here. You know, um, yeah, really not very liquid though. So, but it's for a not liquid stock, that is pretty impressive. This chart. So it's still not like, still very. Some days are a little bit volatile, but overall, it's still not bad. Consider it's so little trading volume. Yeah, FTI, another machinery, probably doing really strong. Booking, MKTX, so that finance stock. So we know, like based on the tracking I do, like I said, energy and industrials are the two strongest on accumulation standpoint. This is financial. So I missed this breakout right here. It keeps showing up, and then Friday, I don't know. I just decide not to buy it. Um, but it's looking really good. Like it's look at how tight this is trading. Even on when it's going on the downside, it's just trading so tight. Again, you have low volume until except for this one day of really shakeout right here. But I like this stock in general. At least recently. Okay? So it's okay. Not the strongest fundamentals, but impressive that it can gain that much recently. So yeah, ATI and other. So a lot of the metals are starting to pop up again. That's why that's probably some of those are like related to energy commodities. So this one make new high on Friday. Look at this weekly chart, so nice. It's just every day, every week, new higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Every week. Those are the ones you want to hold. That's nice. Volume here, volume here, volume here. Like, like they don't move fast, but these are the ones that move consistently. And look, 28% now. Like it moved a little bit, little bit, little bit. Now it's 28% now. So look at these numbers here. Fundamentals, 100% growth. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I miss this a lot. I think I trained once or twice, but I never put in my long term. 25% earning estimate. Let's see how much it bid last time. Okay, only we barely beat last time. So, but mid cap institution growing slightly, not a lot, slightly. Yeah, it's not a bad stock. Again, we are at number 56. Hubs, this one also keeps showing up. Let me just check. Um, yeah. So a lot of these stocks you can see on the weekly chart, they're on a nice uptrend now. Yeah, nice earnings. This one has a lot more sponsorship, but it hasn't increased that much. 20 billion. This is in the software world. STM. So this one, I don't know if it got hit by the Tesla news. Let me see. Slightly, but I don't think they got directly impacted though. I'm not sure. So yeah, it maybe I don't know. Yeah, that day it really got hit hard. I think they might have. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, really consistent. Look at those numbers. So it did bounce back on Friday. Also very young, like 44 billion cap, but I don't know why it has so little institutions. I don't know. It's weird. So I believe this was the one that Warren Buffett has started selling. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit worried about buying into this now. I wanted to for a little bit I wanted to put this in my longer term portfolio, but after hearing that news from Warren Buffett that he's selling some of his shares in the stock, um, I'm kind of a little bit hesitant now. So we'll see. I'll see how it reacts. So far, it seems okay. Like even Friday came back above the 10-day. Um, and Thursday is a big rebound. So again, very impressive. Big shakeout right here. But the thing about this stock is this run right here, right? It's so superb. Like this is almost as good as ALGM. Um, and so that's why it was on my radar. Um, and now it give back so little, like so little, like amazing. And so if it start to make another move, it'll be big. And again, this is despite here's the thing, despite this pullback here, they're still in the top 60. That's pretty impressive. That's why these are the stocks that are holding up really, really strong. So yeah, if I can keep my mind past the Warren Buffett selling news, I'll probably get into this. I have to think about it. Because I'm also comparing against other stocks that I already own, so I have to take that into account. XPOF, this one report earnings strong on I think Friday or yeah. So again, this is kind of like a short base. Um, earnings came out. Leisure service, exponential fitness. So in the retail world, consumer discretionary. So these are again turnaround numbers. Look at the consistent sales, keep growing, right? The sales consistently growing. So that's a good number. Those are really good numbers. Wow, this is already making new highs. Yeah, this is new on my screen, so something to pay attention to. I I don't know, I don't want to say tech or retail is better, but for me, I don't know what it is. I'm really drawn to consumer discretionary right now because I feel like there's more newer names there. But I'm not saying the tech doesn't have new names. It's just, but I just feel like because less people focus on it, right? The less people focus on stocks that um, then of course there are small caps. Probably that's why no one talks about it. But um, it's probably how do you say goes up easier just because there'll be less traders in it. So okay, I'm not saying this chart is nice, but it's still quite volatile. You can see. So yeah, but anyhow, something to consider if you because these are so small, you also have high reward potential. So this one is on kind of on the buy signal a little bit. Go back to daily chart. Yeah, so like I said, probably should have bought on Friday if I want to get in. It's kind of, unless it pulls back, which is possible, but I don't know. Perry, this one also keep popping up. Consumer software education. Oh no, it's changed to advertising now. I'll probably have to fix that. And anyhow, yeah, this run here pull back, didn't give back half of it probably. Didn't even come close to 50 day. 50 days strong uptrend right now. This is kind of going sideways. Um, you see, I traded it here. It having hard time breaking out right now. But the moment it breaks 35, I think it's going to run. Sorry? Oh, fundamentals, yeah. So they look pretty good, like consistently. Look at this, 50, 45. Yeah, really consistent. Sales continue to grow 30 to 40%. That's pretty good. But of course, this is small cap, right? That's why they can grow 30, 40%. Big cap is much harder to grow at that rate. But it's consistent. Here's all the blue volume, lots of them, except this 1 week. Again, but this 1 week it didn't close at the bottom, so half of that you can consider half of that as accumulation. So yeah, really good. Like, look at all this volume. Wow, it's it's not easy to find stuff that have so much accumulation. It's a young company, like not too many institutions yet, but it's increasing. Um, yeah, it used to be in the media, but now it's classified as advertising. So anyhow, that's not the point. And then we can look at the future earnings on this one. Let's see. Perry. 16%. Oh, okay, so it's not as strong as before, but again, let's see how often they beat. Okay, last time it beat by 26%. So 16%, 44 cents, roughly 50 cents. So it's in line, but they could beat again. So maybe they'll hit 60. But it's very consistent. Like, the numbers are very consistent. Sometimes it's better to hold stocks that are more predictable. But I like the uptrend. Like this 50-day line. Look at that. Very nice uptrend. And it's already hit new high, so you don't have to worry about resistance. Um, it has a big run here before. But like I said, it's definitely harder to hold short term. It's probably better to hold long term for this stuff. So you see, I traded here. It's very hard. Like, yeah, it hasn't broken yet, so that's probably why. Yeah, it's having a hard time still going up, but it's still in the top 60. So manpower, yeah, and what's this one called? It's not manpower. It's monolithic power. Yeah, so this is another chip stock. Look at this tight handle right now, bouncing off. I think, like, that's one thing I like about all the semiconductor stuff. They all have this nice run, and then they all build this nice, like, because it's coming from the left side, it's this nice handle. And the thing I like about it also is how tight it trade on the handle right here. Like, a lot of them are doing that. So let's go for SMH for a second. Just want to come back to this. Because, like, most of them are doing the same thing. See, right here. So you have this nice cup with handle here. And then it kind of tightened up significantly right here. Especially this week. You see how tight those 3 days are. And then now it broke out of that zone. And so to me, it's still not 100% clear. Like you could buy at the 10-day on Friday. You could also buy on this trend line from here. So if Monday breaks out even further, that'll be a better signal, because that'll give you more confidence. And then, of course, the ultimate buy point is at the top here. If it breaks out 255, at least on the index level. So there's a few more levels here. But usually, again, when the chip stocks move, they move. Just like right here. When they move, right? So we'll see if this is going to happen. Yeah, so that's where all the chip stocks are, I think. Generic drugs, another one from medical. Oil and gas drilling, CHX. Computers. This one keep coming up this week. ANSS. Okay, let's take a quick look. Yeah, look at this uptrend. Hasn't even tried to touch the 10-day ones yet. It's unfortunately almost like it's kind of ran pretty fast after the earnings. Um, so this is another good example how it kind of broke out from this handle, and also at this level was the longer term buy point. So those are okay to buy, I think, whenever you see it break out from a base, like even a longer base. Um, yeah, so it hasn't touched the 10-day ones yet. Computer software design, which is interesting how it can be at the top. LPG, this one I trade in and out a lot. Transport pipeline as well. ACGL insurance, this one I got shake out. Otherwise it would have been good. So look at this. It's been on the run. I don't remember which day I got shake out. So I don't remember. I think I put a stop too tight or something. Yeah, I got shake out. Anyhow, still a good trade, but it's still running right now. Again, this is another stock that is not touching the 10-day line. Whenever you see something like that, like you hope you have catch it, and but yeah, it's just continuing to go up right now. UAL and transportation pipeline. Okay, so this one I'll just bring it up because it was an IBD showcase this week. Um, yeah, look at this. It's you know, it's very hard to read. But it has this run, consolidate. Now it's trying to break out pretty close. I think it did break out on Friday a little bit, but it kind of closed in the middle range. But that's okay. Um, yeah, it's looking good again. And again, let's look at Jets because that's the group. And I think it's in the third of best industry we look at. So clearly break out from the 10-day. Also break out from this trend line. Yeah, it looks really good. I say, if you like the jets or airlines. Caesar and not look at how many leisure came in, like all the casino hotels, Caesar, MGM, Wynn, Las Vegas, they're all at the top again. So they're coming back up again because they all I don't know what the sec industry I define what industry group ETF is, but anyhow, let's look at Caesar because sometimes that's the best way to play. You don't have to buy individual stock; you can just buy the whole group, right? Um, here's the breakout trend line. That's perfect. Both 10-day, perfect. So, they all have this run, and then they went sideways. They gave back so little, and now they might be starting the new one. So, yeah, really good. MGM, Meli, retail internet, Brazil, right? Um, yeah, this is like the eBay or Amazon of Brazil. It reports strong earnings. Again, this week, I don't know. It was just too much for me. There was just too many stocks moving on the good side, I mean. And I just couldn't catch all of them. Like there's just too many, and that's a good sign. Again, that's a good sign. I'm not saying I'm a little bit frustrated. I missed some of the good ones I want to buy, but that's because there's just too many. So that's a good sign. So here's another one that took off already. It's still not far from the 10-day, but slightly higher risk now because it's been up for 5 days. But it still could run a long way because it's just beginning its run, right? So uh, yeah. So again, depending how tight you trade, you can still get in. It's just a little bit more risk, but the numbers are very consistent. Like even during the last year, it's like so consistent. I can't believe it. Yeah, this is the Amazon of the South America. So yeah, it looks really good. I mean, yeah, this is doing better than a lot of big caps. Um, so that's good. RNA, another biotech. Hotel again. See, so many consumer discretionary at the top. Finance. Okay, this is credit card EFT. I haven't looked at this in a while. I think it just reported. That's why it shows up. Yeah, it did. Let me see here. 1 day report. Oh no, it reported a while ago. So it was on the downtrend. So here's the nice uptrend. Give back, bounce off the 50-day. That's a classic bounce right there. And then now it's above 10-day. Like clearly out of the zone now. Now it's starting the right side. So this looks really good. Volume wise, it's okay. We didn't see much higher volume on the upside, but we also didn't see lots of volume on the downside. So yeah, it's okay. TDG, aerospace. I traded out this stock many times. I don't like trading it anymore because I always get stopped out. But it's a good chart for holding. Look at this. Yeah, like the aerospace defense for some reason is still being accumulated. Um, there's a saying, right, that ever since the Ukraine war, the war is preparing for this now. They're no longer like gonna sit behind. Now everyone's investing more into like um aerospace stuff and even like fighting equipment and all that stuff. Um so that's the one that's still doing well. Again, this is industrial, so this is being accumulated. AD&T, cars, fix. I just want to see if there's anything that's really show up. AYX was showcased this week on IBD. This is a database software, I believe. Yeah, database software. I don't know what database though. Anyhow, this is an old name again. Broke out here. Now it's on the uptrend. It's obviously it's gonna have lots of resistance, but it's turning around. Uh, BBB, I trade in that one sometimes. DraftKings. I haven't looked at DraftKings though. Let's take a look. This is an old name, but now it's under, see, past 200-day line. Now it's back on the uptrend, right? So yeah, it's gonna have lots of so seems like some of the leaders previously now is starting to turn around. So SQ's block. Let me take a quick look. But yeah, it's okay. The numbers are not that great. It's okay, but they're still going down a little bit. Z Lab, Biotech, Tapestry, um, APTV, Truck, HSBC, NSW, Wing. So Wing I own. It still haven't bounced back. We'll see. You know, this week it didn't too much. It's consolidating on the side. So we had this run up, right, on earnings news, and it fell back down after that. So I'm at a loss right now. But it's trading really tight, so that's what I like. Um, well, let's see. This is a very good fundamental stock. 1855, 150 is accelerating, and also sales are also accelerating, and the institution sponsorship are rising. 97 composite, 5.1 billion, $173. This is yeah, this is because it's not big, but let me see. 600. Yeah, it's 60 million. No, the wing they have wing. They basically it's like wing shops, like restaurant. Yeah, and we don't have it in Canada, but they're growing really big in the US, right? And just people go there, eat wings, watch sports, kind of like a BP. Um, but wings, yeah, they're very popular in the US, and they're growing, right? And it's not I don't know, it's not a big superstar. Like it hasn't done. You can see here, it hasn't done like a lot, right? Like this story has come up many times. It's not the first time. Um, but I never really a big fan of it. But the reason why right now I like it is because like it really is showing growth right now. I don't know. I don't remember the numbers was this good before, even pre-pandemic. But now it's you can see the acceleration, and both IBD and Jim Ropel likes it. So I'm keeping, I only took one position so far. We'll see. It's digesting right now after this 1 day pop. So that's the, even though this day it fell back, but it's, you can tell, like, there's lots of accumulation that week. Now maybe it's just some people want to get out, but now it's digesting really nicely. So I treat this day as just like whatever. It's just that 1 day off thing, right? But now it's like, if you don't look at that 1 day and you just look at this chart overall, it's like you have this cup and handle goes up. Now it's digesting a little bit more near the buy point, and a lot of stocks do that. And then at some point, I don't know, this news or someone just say, "Hey, we're gonna get in," and then we'll start the new run. So that's what I'm hoping for. But obviously, I'm at a loss here because I bought on that day. Um, yeah, we'll see. But it's in the top 100, so and again, any stock that has pulled back and is in the top 100, I will say is impressive. This is not easy to be in the top 100. New R, yeah, I trade in and out that stock many times. It's kind of hard to make money on it. Cat, I own UA Under Armour. Huh, interesting. I never seen this so far. It's pop up in the 100. Okay, report earnings here gone down. Yeah, I didn't do that well, but this run was amazing. Um, but it's below all the moving averages right now, so we'll see. It's starting to round up, right? This is when you see a stock like go down, it's okay. We want to watch for the round up at the base. So here you see how tight this is trading. That's exactly what you want to see. Now we if we do come back up, like I said, this is a small dollar stock, so that's why you can probably move 20% very easily. But right now it's still below the moving average. But I'm surprised it's in the top 100. But again, we're looking at from the October lows, right? So this shows that this stock is a leader, but right now it's giving back some. I don't know, maybe the earnings wasn't that good. We'll see. But it's rounding up right now. So after that big run, we expect it to give back. So we'll see. Um, I mean, it is also a turnaround story. Sales, yeah, a little bit weak though, sales. So anyhow, I'm just surprised it's in the top 100. I haven't seen this name in a long time. HXL, yes, another aerospace defense, Leco, machinery. Those all these are industrial. PDC, technology, MCHP, another semiconductor. YAMC. So YAMC, I'm still thinking about, like, I haven't put it in my long term yet, but let's take a look at this. So this is very impressive from an earnings standpoint. Like, it's growing at 100% growth right now. The sales is not that strong. It's kind of slowly recovered. This is China. This is basically the China KFC, right? Um, and there's a Yum is in Western Canada, but they separate into two companies, one in China. And so this is strictly focused on China. So it's very impressive. You can see this uptrend, 25 billion cap. So this is institution quality stock. Um, it's still very choppy though. Like, but again, they follow the China market has been weaker lately. But maybe it might turn around because US dollar starting to also weaken. So coming back to like what you said earlier, like it could weaken UUP, and that would, if this weakens more, like if we break that 10-day trend line, yeah, then Canadian dollar will be higher because it's kind of the opposite, right? So but we'll have to see if it break that trend line because it hasn't so far. Every time it bounces off that, but but it seems to be they're also like finding resistance at the 200-day line here. So it'll be interesting how this move. I don't know if we'll get resolved this week. We'll see. It might just stuck in that range. But Yamsi, yeah, this is Chinese economy, growing the KFC chain. Um, I like this stock. It's a little bit more volatile. It's harder to hold, so that's why it's probably better for like No, I mean to trade. It's probably better for holding longer. But I like the fundamentals. It has turned around. And I think it's pretty strong this quarter. Yeah, I'm see 92% growth. So yeah, really like this is a almost triple digit growth. Very few companies at this size are growing triple digit. So that's why it's on my radar. Like I've traded in and out a couple of times. I still haven't decided to put it on my long term yet. So we'll see. But I like the story. I like the story. We'll see. So it's this one I miss. Um, I could have traded this one, but I miss it. So this is also a breakout right here right here on the earnings, and I didn't buy in, and it has gone up for 5 days now. Some of these stocks, they're harder to trade, right? Because you really have to get the one right to make it worthwhile. Because you could be, sometimes you could get chopped up, and yeah, those are harder to trade. But yeah, this one was one I missed. Uber, probably still lots of resistance. That's the problem with like the older name stock. But this one is looking better. Look at it. Yeah, it's looking a lot better than I thought. Um, Look at this. Like this is interesting. Look at this red volume, right? Yeah, like no one wants to sell. And it's giving back a little bit compared to what it has gained. I like this stock actually. It has lots of accumulation in that 2 weeks. Again, the volume's super low on the sell side. Um, Again, this is a turnaround story. There's lots of turnaround stories right now. Um, yeah, so Uber is not bad. TKR, another metal prop. Uh, yeah, there's lots of names here still. ANET, so ANET, iVideo is showcasing that. Take a look another chip stock there. Oh, networking. Um, yeah, this one is interesting. Like from the longer term picture, because you can see it's been stuck at this zone for a long time. Anytime you see a stock stuck at a zone for a long time, like talking about a year or over, pay attention to those stocks when they break out, because that's when they make those big runs. If it does break out, right? Um, yeah, ANET is on a lot of people's radar. It hasn't proven like it's constantly on people's radar because of this. Look at this fundamentals. Super, like institution quality. Look at that. Over 100, almost 90 accumulate in the last quarter. 43 billion cap, so it's mid cap. 98 composite rating. Lots of volume on the buy side, no volume on the sell side. Yeah, this is institution quality stuff. So it hasn't, like I say, it has moved up and then it gave back a little bit. And look at this, even on the sell side, it constantly bounced off the 21 day. So support line right there, low volume recently, uh, very strong sign of institution quality. Yeah, this is a 300 million day dollar volume every day. So this could be a superstar. Yeah, it was talked about on IBD on Friday. So yeah, I would keep this in my radar. It's like I like this, right? They tried to break out here. It kind of pulled back after that. But so sometimes stocks break out just like SMCI. It breaks out, it pulls back because the market wasn't ready for it yet. So it follows the market, and then as soon as the market runs, those guys are gonna run. So yeah, I like ANET. This is an institution quality stuff. I should put a star on this thing. Um, it's near a buy point, so it's good. Let me see if any names pop up to me. Workday, I trade this one this week. Um, this is a mid cap too. Obviously, we have a huge resistance. So ANET, see, ANET, like even though it's like there's a big difference, right, between ANET and Workday. Is not even halfway to its peak, and it has lots of resistance still, whereas ANET is already near its previous high. So look at this consistency. Wow, 20% growth every year, every quarter. That's amazing. Yeah. Anyhow, like I'm just saying from a technical perspective, I would like ANET more, but this is also really good fundamental. Like this is also turning around. So um yeah, because Workday, it's a fairly new company. I don't remember which year. Uh, yeah, yeah, and it hasn't been talked a lot about. Like it has been, but not as much as other companies. So right. So they're like the new thing, right? So they might have lots of growth into the future. Like I said, this is very consistent. Like that's very hard to achieve. Like 20% growth every quarter. Um, that is pretty good. Like I mean, again, this is another one of those stocks that are potential for long-term growth. Um, B BE. Okay, I'll just bring this one because we haven't talked about energy alternative other. Um, BE Bloom Energy. It's a turnaround story. Sales are rising. Small cap, 4 billion, $22. Um, report earnings. I like usually the alternative energy. I'm just trying to see what the energy is. It doesn't say. Okay, supply electricity. Okay, using renewable energy. Okay, so it is still not above 10-day, but yeah, we'll see. This one was the last big run here. Um, really big run, almost double. Um, this is another run here. This one is like a little bit slightly edge. Yeah, we'll see. Like, but this one show up on the screen. Um, yeah, good turnaround story. Possible, possible. Again, this they tend to follow the energy alternative tend to follow like renewable energy and solar, right? They tend to follow each other. Um, so we'll see. Oops, where am I? Right here. So it's okay. Yeah, we'll have to see on Monday they break out further above the 10-day. Let's see. Anything else worth mentioning? ALV? Okay, another truck. Lots of stocks from this group, the truck equipment group. Again, industrial seems to be doing really well. I've been trading in and out of this one. So yeah, this one is doing really well right now. My last buy was this right here. It's been I just mainly selling it as it moves up. This is a short trade for me, but still, it's doing really good. Like it's following this 10-day. Um, yeah, turnaround story looks good. There's so many names. I think like even like I know I'm going really fast now, but there's so many names here. Like they're all doing really well, and that's the good thing. Like normally once you pass the 100, it's like they look weaker and weaker. But look, even I just want to talk about this one, GE Healthcare. This one is a spin-off IPO. Look at this. It's like straight up IPO. Like I mean, I miss this, there's no doubt. But it's just amazing how it just keep running. Um, yeah, like you know, this is a very strong uptrend. I don't usually see strong uptrend like that. This is like by far really strong. Um, yeah, GE Healthcare IPO. Oh, let's talk about IPO. Like, look at mobile IoT. Like more, like some of these are not on my list because their fundamentals are not as strong, like their forecast, but they'll probably beat it. So just like last quarter, they also negative, but then they beat it, and then they turn positive. So Friday was a breakout on the 10-day. So a lot of people I know on IBD traded this. They bought on that day. Uh, I haven't traded this. I think I traded this once right here. Yeah. I haven't traded. I missed this one because see, this is the problem. It's like so choppy, and if you have a tight stop, you're gonna get stop out. So that's why this is not a stock. This is a very hard stock to trade. Right? It just move a lot every day. Um, yeah. Even Salesforce is here, and again, Salesforce did really well on the earnings report. So it's like the software enterprise role is definitely coming back. Yeah, so this is the breakup. So it pulled back slightly on Friday, but this basically they're starting to prove themselves again, right? So look at this, 100% growth. Um, like this is turning around now, right? So again, they're proving themselves. So all this I just want to see which one's on here. IoT. Oh, did we talk about IoT? No, it's a new name. Let's look at IoT. This one popped on my screen this week. I think they reported as well, and huge jump. This is small. Oh, 10 billion. Oh, that's not that small. Where is this from? I'm not sure. San Francisco. Okay. Yeah, it reported on Friday. Again, this would be already advanced, right? It's not a big advance, but it's still an advance. I wouldn't buy it here. I'll wait for pullback. Um, but this is a younger stock as well. So, but yeah, it's funny how it's $10 billion worth. I never heard of this company. Um, yeah, DT, another one, Dynatrace. Uh, I want to look at SLB and oh, Pakra too, both. So let's take a quick look. I like the fundamentals, right? 75%, 75. Like this is in my long-term portfolio. Um, but I got shaken out of it, unfortunately. So now, like this is a huge pullback. Um, and now it's starting to ride the light side. It's still very slow though. So I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to get back in. Um, we'll see. It's again like the oil is very important. If it the oil price is very important, but I really like these numbers, like so perfect. And because this is like almost big cap, like yeah, kind of a big cap. Um, there's lots of institution sponsorship, like over 250 bought in December quarter. That's a lot. Um, yeah, but this one is like I said, this is a good time if you want to go for long. I just need to make sure it is gonna hold, right? I don't want to buy it and then get stopped out again. So we'll see. Um, but because oil has kind of, like I told you, the commodity sector has kind of picked up again, energy in general. It might be a good time to get back in. Maybe I won't get stopped out this time. So yeah, so that's one stock that I really like on the energy, like from a institution type of quality. Picar is another one. So even though it's not at the top, these are the bigger ones, right? So these are bigger truck related industrial truck company. So this one broke out on high volume here. I got shaken out during this digestion. Now it's starting to move. So it broke out on Friday. So yeah, I haven't got back in, unfortunately. So so yeah, like again, if this is some of the movement that's happening that I'm saying, right? Like the industrial and the energy, and these are the big guys. So or at least this is slightly bigger. Yeah, 40 billion. So that one's 80, this one's 40. So these are the bigger guys. So institutions are piling money into this type of stocks right now. Um, yeah, and those are the quality ones. Yeah. IBKR. Okay. Need to talk about this one. Yeah, it bounced to new high on Friday. Like it closed at the top. I trim a little bit on Friday, just a little bit, like because I like to trim a little bit when things are good. But again, support fundamentals over hundreds institutions own it in just 1 quarter extra. Um, yeah, really strong fundamental. Like the uptrend is really nice now. So you can tell I used to trade as well. Now I don't trade it no more. I'm just gonna hold it. So this uptrend is nice. It's been finding support at the 10-day, and now it's just trading tightly. We'll see what the slope of this run is. Hopefully, it's at least this like this. It's 10% from this pivot right here. It's still not far away. We're hoping it will move faster soon. Volume has drained out, have dried out on the sell side. Really good. That's a really good sign. So again, we expect this bounce to continue. Um, I didn't add on Friday. Instead, I trimmed. Um, I don't like buying stocks at the end of the week. Same thing with at the beginning of the day. I don't like buying. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like buying stocks at the end of the day. Because the new week start, I want to see what happens next week, right? Then, if it gives me opportunity to buy more, I'll add more. Especially like IBKR, it rides the 10-day very closely. That's what I found. Generally it does come back to 10-day many times. Look at this, like it touched the 10-day almost every day last in the last 10 sessions, like 6 7 sessions it touched the 10-day. So I won't be surprised it will touch the 10-day as it goes up. So those are the times you can add if you feel more comfortable with it. But yeah, super fundamental. um yeah, almost 80, 89, 100 million type of dollar volume every day. So these are institution quality stock. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that I miss. Um, yeah. Anything else on your end? Mm-hmm. Let's go to Dow for a second. So Dow was the weakest index, but now um, Wednesday, like that was funny because Wednesday it was the only one that was green, I believe. And Thursday fall through, Friday fall through. It's still under the 50-day. Um, you know, but it shake out a lot of people. Like basically, it found support at the previous low right here, and it's also near the 200. But it bounced off very strong. Yeah, I don't like I say. I think as you can see from my list, it's just there's leadership from everywhere. That's the good thing. That's the thing I like about a rally is I like to see stocks like coming from all areas, not just one little area. But the accumulation is still mainly happening in the industrial and energy right now. So those might be something to pay attention to. We'll see if that trend continues next week. Um, so that's Dow Jones. S&P, what is it? It climbed above the 10-day and it climbed above the 4,000. This is gonna be very important. 4,000. Um, yeah, like I say, I'll be very cautious, right? This coming week. Um, just because, like I say, a lot of stocks have moved, but because it has moved 2 days so strong, they tend to pull back. You know, like very seldom it goes 3 days or 4 days strong. Very seldom, unless you have a January again, right? Oh yeah, there's another thing I haven't talked about that I missed. The fear and greed index. It kind of okay. So let's just show it first. So it's sitting at 55. It went lower than 55 on I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday morning probably. Wednesday. So it went as low as 48 neutral, and then it has bounced off slightly. Now, again, I don't know if this is going to be a bounce from here or whether this is just a tiny bounce and then continue lower. So right now it's neutral, meaning people aren't too bearish or aren't too bullish. Um, the last time it made this low here was there was lots of fear. So we kind of in the neutral zone. So it's kind of followed the market so far. But unfortunately, this fear grid index right now is just neutral, right? Obviously, you want to see more fear, but we haven't seen that yet. So um, I'm not saying the market won't bounce from here. It's just I think there'll be more challenges, like more volatility maybe. It won't be a smooth selling just because it's not if there's everyone's fearing, then then there's gonna be less. People already sold, right? There already so much fear, so then there's a higher chance for it to bounce. But right now it's kind of in the middle ground, and yeah, like the worst thing you can see is Monday it goes back down to 10-day. That would be the worst. That's the worst thing. Or even Tuesday. Like Monday, maybe it didn't do much. It just stays there, and then Tuesday it comes back down, like because of the testimony. But we'll see. Like I'm hopeful that it'll continue from here. But the stocks are showing a really good sign right now that they're moving. Right, a lot of them are above 10-day, and they're just starting to bounce. So that's less risk. Um, anything else is particular? Nasdaq also bounced up. So Nasdaq was the strongest on Friday, and that's a good sign. Um, oh yeah, let's look at some of the big caps. I forgot to do that. So like, look at Apple. So look, Apple bounced off 10-day. So following the market in general. Microsoft slightly. I don't know why it looks kind of weak to me, but still above 10-day. So all these big caps are crossing back above the 10-day. So like I said, Monday, like I expect it to open strong. Like it's almost like a gap up because if you didn't get it on Friday, you miss it, right? So that's why I expect it to happen. But I also don't like gap ups because it could turn around. So but at least that's what I'm seeing might happen, right? So we have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon is not as strong. It's just starting to rise to the 10-day. Um, Google also not as strong. It's also okay. This right back to the 10-day too. So at least they're coming back. Um, then we have Tesla. So right now Tesla it fell hard on Thursday, but then it kind of recouped a little bit back to the 10-day line. So that's very interesting. Um, so if I omit Thursday, forget about Thursday for a second. I just look at the general chart. It obviously is kind of like finding direction right now, right? At the 200 level. Um, it could be like again, remember I always say like it goes up and then it digests. How much is it giving back? It's not giving back much. So as time goes on, it's actually more advantage for the stock, right? So eventually it'll break out because if it's not falling, then eventually it'll break out. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I don't know what could lift it, like what kind of news could lift it. So then we look at NVDA for a second. This is still really strong. Oh my God. Look at this. Earnings great. Pullback. This is like prime opportunity to buy on the pullback. I didn't because yeah. Um, so they're still not growing back the earnings as fast. So that's why I'm not. It's not on my list. So they're again forecasting negative 33%. Of course, they can beat that, and then the stock will continue higher. But I'm just very strict on that rule. Like these are all turnaround stories, and um, they'll probably work because the trends on the AI side right now. So yeah, let's talk about AI, right? So C3 AI, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So if like for example, like if they're not growing their earnings like positively, um like it won't be on my list, right? So for example, the same thing with this stock, right? um their turnaround story, right? So meaning they will probably lose less money, right? So for example, this is I don't know. It doesn't say here. But for example, point oh 0.07 lost 0.07 the year before, and now it lost 0.06. So it has improved, right? But they're still losing money. So that's why, so now it's forecasting negative 24%, which means from next quarter will be negative 0.21. Again, I don't know what the one before is. It's hard to compare, but it's still going to lose. It's still going to drop by 24%. Yeah, like that's negative. So it's not improving much, right? So if we go back to NVIDIA, like sometimes I'll make an exception. I'll trade some of those stocks, but like I could trade NVIDIA if I want to. But definitely, but these are turnaround stories, right? So obviously you can see the technicals are so strong. It's not even, it's crazy. So here you go, same thing, right? 132, it drops to 88 cents. But if you look at the estimate, they beat by 8%. So meaning they instead of 80, they were forecasting, like it says here, 80, it beat by 7 cents, meaning it forecast 81, but they beat it, right? 88 cents. So the market, most markets, right? Most analysts, they will have a forecast, and then even if it's down, it's okay because that's how it is. It's already priced into the stock. But for me, I look at it from a different perspective, right? I look at it from a longer term perspective, right? If they're not making profit now, yes, it's kind of like the Netflix story, right? Or Tesla story back, 10 years ago. They're not making money, but they're constantly growing their market share, right? So those stocks continue to grow in terms of price. So, but that's the thing. You have to make a decision. Do you want to trade those stocks? Because out of 10 or 20 or 100 of those stocks, maybe only a few will succeed, right? So you have to make that decision. So there's a, how do you say it? There's, but if the market conditions are good, then in general, like any stocks will do well as long as they can beat their earnings, right? But it's just that, they're not really growing um, as strong as they should be, but they're improving, you know. And also you have to look at their fundamental story. Like, are they not making money because they keep putting back the money into expanding, right? That's kind of the thing you want to think about too. So obviously Nvidia is a turnaround story as well, and they're gonna make lots of money with the AI chips and stuff. But right now, it's just right now they're not making as much profit as they should. But they obviously going to improve because they're going to sell more AI chips. So that's one way to look at it. Um, yeah. Does that make sense?